right. Thanks everyone for joining us. You want to get us going, please?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Dave, good to see you.
You
Um,
too.
I'm curious, kind of, what are your just in general thoughts on how the off season has gone and y'all's efforts in the portal and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of questions in one there. That's beautiful. It's a good start. Um, so off season, I guess this is the off season. I mean, we've worked every day since we got back from Kansas. It's been nonstop. Obviously discussing things with the players that are coming back and obviously with kids that aren't. And we just have to get our roster right as far as what our main needs are. We've got a group of young players that coming in that are out playing, a lot of the hitters doing well. So we have to have enough. We don't want to, you can't really overdo it. The draft's coming up. There's just so many unknowns right now. We're taking some kids that are draft eligible, that when we bring them in and talk to them, it's like they want to go to college another year. And now we have the 5 for 5 rule passed, and it looks like they would have another year of eligibility for a little bargaining power that we feel like can help us maybe sway them to come to school another year. There's just a lot going on, and the next 3 to 4 weeks, we'll know where we're at 3 to 4 weeks, and we can only obviously have so many on the roster. So just trying to build a strong roster for the 27 season. So I think it's going good. Obviously, I don't get all caught up in rankings and what this guy thinks. We just have to go put our eyes on guys and make contact with kids and talk to them and go from there. So excited where we're at, but still nothing's final.
I'm not sure how many of these guys you can talk about right now, but I think, as you mentioned, I think 6 of the 12 transfers you've got committed are draft eligible. Just how confident are you that you'll be able to get them through? And then, like, is it like kind of I mean, we saw it last year. Is it kind of like a little crapshoot until the draft comes?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident we're going to get some through. We may get them all through. Some of these kids are going to come out early and start working out, and doesn't mean that if they get drafted really high, they're going to stay here. But I think they'll get acclimated and feel comfortable. I don't think these kids are going to sign cheap, especially now when you think about it. You can come in for a year. You have another year of bargaining power. It's like you can make some NIL, make some money on this end, get drafted on that end, and it makes a lot of sense when step back and start counting a little bit. So uh, we've got to deal with a lot of really good guys, their families, and it's been a great experience the last couple of weeks. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, you said you don't get caught up in the rankings, but I mean, if you look at, some of these players, they're obviously high profile players who you're getting commitments from. Do you feel like recruiting's going better in this portal cycle than it has in the past?
We didn't get hardly anybody last year. We were playing and we didn't have the resources. Bottom line, this year we have the resources, and there's just a lot of generous companies, people that want to help us, that kind of knew what we were going through a little bit last year and fighting for players. And um, we've always had a really good reputation with kids around the country, kids that are at other programs, about how we can help them achieve their goals, get better here. But sometimes that's not enough. This year it's a little different. Um, yeah, we'll leave it there.
Did it take a year like this year where you could maybe see a little bit of talent discrepancy with some of the teams that you were facing to help get the attention of people and that you did need more help financially?
I think that a lot of our really good fans that really, really tune in, follow, know our players. They knew that our roster was maybe not as deep as it should be. And I'd say I would have to answer your, yeah, yes to that question.
You mentioned 5-5. There's also this MLB draft proposal about, I'm sure you've seen it, shortened draft, no high school players and such. How does that change how you construct your rosters moving forward? I know it doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of impact on this next season, but you're going to be talking to juniors soon, rising juniors. How does this affect you, assuming all of this goes through?
Well, first off, we love our 27 class of high school kids. And, you see us getting these transfers, but we know a lot of, we get them, they're going to be gone next year at this time. And this 27 class of really talented players should roll in here and have an opportunity to contribute, start, play, whatever. Because we always want to get the high school guys, want to get the best ones. And, if you look at the rankings, and again, it doesn't mean everything, we've done a pretty good job there. We're not really even looking at 27s anymore, obviously. We're looking at younger kids. Um, but we've tried to investigate this a little bit, and we feel like the draft will be the same. We kind of, I would say, we know from what we've discussed with some professional people that the draft will be the same in 27 as it is in 26. So that's a good thing when you're talking to the kids. Now it'd probably change in 28. It looks like. So we have a little time to really think this one through. And I don't know. Right now in college sports, you got to take care of now a little bit, always with your eye on the future. But I don't think that we're going to do anything a whole lot different right now just because of what we're hearing until we know for sure.
Does 5-5, does it change things for some of these true juniors that you had this year who, I think like a Nolan Souza or a Kuhio Aloy, uh, I mean, first off, what do you see their futures being?
Yeah.
But how much does it change it for them where now all of a sudden they're not in a leverage year anymore? They've got another bargaining year.
Yeah. So now they have two of them. And, two guys that if they come back, I think they'll have a lot better year. I think if Souza decides to come back and he's still here working out, he's not going home this summer. He's going to see what happens in the draft as of now. And, he's a lot better than what he showed numbers wise. I mean, the arm just really starting to bounce back, confidence. I've had a couple conversations with him since the season ended in my office, one-on-one, and I think he knows how good I think he can be. I just think he's a year and a half behind of playing. I mean, he missed the end of the 25 season on a great team, and he was unbelievable defensively. I mean, and then he got hurt, missed the rest of the season, didn't play all summer, didn't play all fall. And I don't know. I don't know. I want him, if he signs pro, I want him to go in there and have success. I just think he needs a little more time. And, Cahillo, I think there's more in there offensively, the strike zone discipline. There's a lot to that. He's got to get better to get on the field as an outfielder. And we discussed a lot of that, but we'll see how that turns out. Obviously, those are two guys we'd like to have back because they've been through it and they could help lead us a little bit, but I think they'd have much, much better seasons than they had this year. Not saying they weren't good, but I think they could have great years.
All right.
Dudley, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, obviously when you go into recruiting, you look at trying to get as talented people as you can, but it looks like you've got or you went into it looking for somebody at just about every spot, and especially at pitching. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we just need more depth in pitching. We need a couple guys that have been through Division I baseball a couple of years, or even a year. It just adds up. And if a couple of guys that are coming in that are going to only be sophomores, they pitched a lot for their teams. In one case, one was injured, but when he did pitch, it was good. He's healthy now. Yeah, I mean, we're losing some pitching, and we need some guys with experience to step in and help us out. Feel good about three of the freshmen that are strike throwers, because that's usually the issue is throwing it over the plate. But we got some freshmen coming in that they throw a lot of strikes. We can get them here. There's pro interest in some of these guys, and then the returners. They have to take that step forward. And we got some kids out pitching on the East Coast, the West Coast, and we're tracking them, following them, and seeing how they do. And so far, maybe all but maybe one doing pretty well.
Also, the obviously you talked a little bit about resources and getting a little bit more of that. Is it safe to say that you feel a lot better about the support that you're getting both from the fans and the administration?
Yeah, I'd say that. The administration, it's better than it was last year. And then on the fan side, it's been great. We've had some people really step up, and people that have helped us have recruited other businesses, and I think there's just a lot of people that want to see us succeed here, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And it's given us an opportunity to go out and compete against the teams across the country, and really the teams in the Southeastern Conference that have had this type of opportunity every year.
Appreciate it.
Jackson, go ahead.
Hey Dave, good to see you. One of those pitchers that's returning next year, Cole Gibbler. I don't think he's playing anywhere this summer. What's he doing? And what's the biggest key for him in making sure he gets back to maybe some of that freshman form that he showed for you guys?
Yeah, he's staying here, working out. I think he's helping with some of our camps as well in the morning, and then they've got a routine of working out. They've been getting after it. There's a group of them. I think for him to get back to maybe being able to get hitters out like he did his freshman year, it's really about, the I don't know, the shape of his breaking ball, so to speak, the depth of it. We saw it a little bit here and there, but it wasn't quite the same. Um, Believe me, he cares. He's working hard. He's gonna work as hard as he can to get it right, and but that's what he's doing.
Be remiss not to ask you about Carson Wiggins. Just he's kind of I think the fans are interested. Can you share anything about conversations with him? How the recovery process is going right now, and just expectations for him over the next 3 weeks with the draft.
Yeah, it's a tough one, really. Carson's still here working out hard. Then he went to the combine, I guess, and I did not watch him throw. I think a couple other guys did on computers or whatever yesterday. Um, it's going to be up to him what he decides to do. Obviously, him and his family. Uh, I hope that he's got a good number. I mean, come back for another year, and you got two years bargaining power. But uh, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. We're just going to wait and see how it goes. And there could be one team that says, "Hey, we're going to take a chance on this guy." That thing bouncing back. But it always comes down to the bottom line, the number, and what do they want? What will they give? And see if it's worth it to him. We feel on our side that if he takes his time the rest of the summer, comes back in the fall, that he could be, one of the top draft choices next year. Like when I'm talking, top 10 or 15 picks, maybe top 5.
Just Oklahoma goes and wins the College World Series, and you guys almost swept them. Did you feel like that was a team when they left Baum Walker that could maybe make a run like they did? I mean, were you surprised at how they turned it around and got hot at the end?
Yeah, when they left here, I mean, obviously Todd Butler's one of their assistants. He helped put that team together, and Skip and Johnson and we coached against each other in junior college. We were in the same league, and uh, they both, after the series when we were talking, they were really worried about just getting in a regional, and they were asking my opinion. I didn't know what to tell them, honestly, except try to make them feel good. Yeah, you're gonna get there. Just win some games down the stretch, And I can tell you this: when we saw them that weekend in Arlington, and they were the only SEC team that won all three. We won 2 out of 3. Vandy didn't have a good weekend, but they won them all, and we felt like, hey, they're really good. So they had a lot of speed. They had talent there, and what I saw down the stretch was just the power really came on. And they've always been able to steal bases this year, and they changed up their rotation. We thought their Sunday starter against us, the big left-hander, the freshman, we commented after the series as a staff that we felt like he might be their best pitcher, starter anyway, and that we thought he should flip to Friday, see if he could get him off to a good start, because their issues seemed like they were getting into the bullpen real quick and using guys. And I don't know, I think they did it somewhere in there, and then obviously it evolved. But what they did, the way they went through it, I mean, I text Coach Butler right after they beat Georgia Tech, and I just said, you guys are on a run, and enjoy Omaha. You guys have a chance. And they did it. They had a great run. Happy for them. Really happy for Skip too, because he's done it the hard way. He went out and assistant at a JUCO, head coach at a junior college, pitching coach at Texas under Garrido, and he loves Augie Garrido. If anybody says a negative thing around Skip about Augie, Skip's ready to fight, and you gotta love that. And yeah, just you can tell he didn't micromanage his team. He managed everything. He just let his coaches work, and I love the way they did it.
Last one from me. You guys are maybe getting more draft eligible guys this portal cycle than previous years. Do you think that's a trend maybe for years to come with the 5 for 5 or just this NIL era? Or is it something about this year specifically that's just the guys you're targeting and you're loading up maybe a little bit there?
Well, we need these guys, number one. Yeah, then there's that big risk of them signing, and we've had that happen to us, like last year with the shortstop. They tell you one thing and do another, but the difference is if it's just I just want to go ahead and start my pro career and take my 150 grand or 200, those type of guys, because they take you late, after the 10th, 12th round, and that's what you get. Unless they want to have, they can go over that, but it costs them a little bit, the pro team. Then we get it. These guys aren't telling us that's what they want to do. So we trust them a little bit, but on our end, we can do what the pro people are doing now. How do you think these other teams kept all these good players the last couple of years? And they got juniors and seniors on their team from other schools. And you probably know some of the schools I'm talking about, because that's what they did.
Ellis, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, on the Wiggins front, I imagine, that probably is something you thought about while you're recruiting the portal. And I believe you guys added more portal pitchers this offseason than you had in the previous 3 combined. I was just wondering, how much while you're recruiting some of these other guys are you kind of thinking, because Carson Wiggins isn't just some random piece on your pitching staff. That might be your Friday night guy. How much are you thinking about him in the back of your mind of well, do we go after this guy because we might have this big piece coming back? And just how much clarity do you expect to have on that situation before the draft?
I think we'll know a lot more in the next week or so because of him going out there and throwing. But like I said, you never know. Yeah, I mean, Carson would be huge here. He's right there on our mind, but at the same time, we've got to just go get guys that can help us. And we need some depth. We need guys with experience. If Wiggins comes back, it will be amazing, and he'll be welcomed by everybody in this program, I guarantee you.
And in terms of position player depth, it seems like in the outfield, you guys have a decent amount of options to where no matter what happens with the draft, you're still going to have enough to go out there and field an outfield. With middle infield, obviously there's a lot of guys, pretty much everybody in that mix for you guys is draft eligible between the freshmen and incoming guys and returning guys. Do you guys have kind of a backup plan? Do you expect additions to be made there in the middle infield, or do you have a pretty good idea of what your risk assessment is like at that spot?
Yeah, I think we have a better idea what the risks are there, just from communication and in-person conversations, over the phone conversations. Yeah, and the portal's open for another 5 days. There'll be some more guys jumping in late, like Kojo got in the last day a couple of years ago. And there's kids pondering it right now. I mean, there might be a couple of our guys get in. Who knows? And so, yeah, it's everything's a risk. We've tried to get some kids in those positions that were young, and it we didn't get them because they stayed closer to wherever they wanted to go, or they already had it set. Uh, so we don't just want anybody. We got to get a really good. We have to have a good middle infield. We have to have a good infield, obviously. So it's still a work in progress until they don't sign.
Trey, if you're there, go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you've been doing this now for a couple of years with the transfer portal era and whatnot. With DJ Baxendale's role, and the timing of the season, of how late in the year and in the postseason, a lot of this evaluation is really going on. How much can you share with the process and how much you're leaning on the staff? And then at what point you start to really get involved?
Yeah, it's definitely a group effort. I mean, having DJ has been amazing. He's dealing with agents, taking a lot away from us. Dealing with our players that are already in the program. So we're not talking about those type of things with the players. He's in all of our meetings. Yeah, it's hour to hour sometimes on where we're at on things, and we all don't agree on everything. So we talk about it when it comes to who to get and all those other things. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of it with the other coaches. We're looking at players, watching video, calling kids. A lot of times, if they start it, then I'll be talking to the kid after that, the player after that. I mean, it's just the normal process. But yeah, it's definitely all of us because we're all in this together. Win or lose. So it's what's going on.
And as far as the portal being open here for a couple more days, is it safe to say, I know never say never, but things are largely done, or no, are you still anticipating a good bit of movement?
Oh, I think there'll be another group probably by the end of the week, which is just about here. So I think there'll be some more. I think, there's a lot of kids in the portal that nobody even knows who they are. But the ones that pop up that have done some things once they go in, I mean, they're getting blown up. I mean, it's crazy. Phone's on fire. So, uh, yeah, I still think there's more action to come.
Coming back around, Hutch and Matt Jones, wrap us up, please.
Yeah, Dave, there's a couple other juniors that you have that weren't invited to the combine, and Pompey and McGuire. I'm curious what their status is. Are those guys you'd like to potentially have back next year?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd love to have any of the older kids back for the most part. I mean, we'd take them all, but I don't plan on that. I think Pompey's such a good athlete. I mean, he's our best base stealer. He could steal when everybody in the stadium knew we needed a stolen base to get in scoring position late in the game, and he could get it. And he's got a really good arm. You've seen his power. Made some great plays. He needs to cut down on his errors, obviously, but and the strikeouts, and he got better. But I do believe that somebody will take him. Now, we'll see how that turns out. But I feel like that he's going to be a better pick than people realize. McGuire, experienced right-hander. Yeah, I mean, we'll just see what goes on with them. We can't predict it. We can only just investigate it and talk to their representatives, so to speak, and the player, and they want to sign, but now they got another year of bargaining power. They get drafted late and they offer them peanuts. Do you want to sign? Or you want to come back? And this is the thing. The draft is in a terrible time for us. It should have been a week ago, or have it right after the super regionals. Just then we know what's going on, because there's a lot of teams. When I say a lot, I'm going to say 100 Division I teams right now. They don't know what to do with the roster, and then we have to wait till the draft is over to get a better feel, and then you get players back that were in your program. Now we have five for five kids that are eligible for another bargaining power year next summer that are like, hey, I could come back and I can finish my degree and I get to go to college again. I love college. I mean, and that's what they're going to do. Well, it's bumping somebody out and it's going to just happen. It's keep happening. And, then it makes the coaches at our level look like the bad guy. What do? You can't kick your player to the curb that wants to come back if you think he can help you. See, that's a tough deal. So all these rules and these talks and these changes, and I said it last year and I said the year before, does anybody really care that the draft is during the baseball all-star game? Not really. It's not a big to-do. Do it some other time, earlier. Help us. And I think the scouts all want it earlier. Their GMs want it earlier. I think it's just the higher ups think it's cool. And I don't really get it.
Are you able to say anything about Zeb Allen by chance? I didn't know if I could add.
I've got a list of all the guys, but I don't know. All I can probably tell you is he played pretty good against us.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, and being an Arkansas kid, if that maybe if it's kind of cool to get an Arkansas kid to come play for the Razorbacks like that.
Yeah, and again, talking draft eligible player, going to get married here, not in too long. Marry his high school sweetheart, getting married just down the road. So it's really kind of neat.
Appreciate it.
Matt, close us out, please.
Yeah, two of your signees, Judah Ota and Jaworski Lane, are out there in Phoenix right now at the combine. What do you think their future is in terms of draft and possibly getting on campus?
I mean, they're both really how we word it, they're just really tooled up. But are they, what do they really want to do? Only they know. So it's probably all about how much money they want to sign. I mean, I wish it was more cut and dry with them. I wish they were going to go in the top 4 or 5 rounds, or we don't know on those guys. They walk in the door, you kind of go, wow, those guys, they look like what they look like up there, and they're only 18 years old. So, it's like anything. They show up on campus, they gotta catch up. They don't have the experience, but they have the potential. So it's a tough one. But we are like doing everything we can to find out what their status is. But I think we'll know more in the next few days when the smoke clears over there.
If Hunter Dietz goes in the first round of the draft, like some of these projections say he will, it'll be 3 years you've had a first round pick as a pitcher, but 3 years too of homegrown pitchers, guys that you brought in as freshmen. What would that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot to us, our program, to be able to talk about that. And, I'm so happy for Hunter. I mean, if you take a step back, you have to be good. You have to be a little lucky. Luck has to do injury issues. You think about our 25 team. We talk about this. We talked about it last year. If we would add a healthy Hunter Dietz on that 25 team, and then you put Wiggins in there as a freshman. I mean, his last pitch, I think he threw at Florida, was 101 miles an hour. And you keep some people healthy, who knows what would have happened in 25. And so those are the things that you talk about. I think we've gotten the right kids in here. We just needed a break as far as keeping some kids healthy this year and last year. I think that you put Wiggins on this year's team, we probably get through that regional. Who knows from there? If you combo Dietz and Wiggins up as your rotation Friday, Saturday, is pretty good, and go from there. But that's the breaks of the game. That's why we're getting depth. We have to have depth. But I think Hunter has a great chance to be a first round pick. He's got first round stuff. It's a good draft this year. I mean, there's some good players. So, yeah, it's a pat on the back for our coaching staff. Our pitching staff have done a nice job developing guys. And hopefully we can do it again next year.
And it's a big year or a big time year for catchers too. And Ryder probably going to be second catcher off the board. What makes him stand out, you think?
First off, Ryder should have won the Gold Glove, and that's amazing to me. But I'll leave it there. Uh, yeah, pay attention. But what makes him special is his ability to help a pitcher feel so much confidence in him when he's behind the dish. Throwing breaking balls in the dirt, 2 strikes on here, runners on third. They know he's going to block it, and they might get a swing and miss. Just all of that, but keeping the ball, presenting it to the umpire, making it look better. He's the best at it. You could call it stealing strikes, whatever you want. I mean, data shows how good he was at it, and that I think when you're just talking about the catching part of it, just what he brought to the pitcher, which made our pitchers feel extremely confident. I mean, the guy started every game but one. I tried not to catch him a couple games midweek, and he fought me on it. So I respect him. He's strong. We needed him. We were thin at other positions. I wanted his bat in the lineup, but he's just a special catcher. And when he gets into the minor leagues, the pitchers up there are going to want to throw to him, and then they're going to move him. Athletic guy. He can steal a base. He could play another position if you needed him to, but whoever gets him is going to get a really, really good catcher.
I mean, I think James McCann's probably the best catcher you've had, at least until Ryder came here, but he was only a second-round pick. Ryder's going to be maybe a top 10 overall pick. What sets them apart at maybe this point of their careers? When James was a junior.
Yeah, I know. James' best year he was good as a freshman, but he just kept getting better and better. His makeup's off the chart. And I've said this many times, when James gets done in professional baseball, I would truly believe, because he knows the game, that somebody's going to want him to manage at that level. I would love him to coach at this level with us. He'll do whatever he wants to do, but obviously. But probably the difference is just, it's not much at all. James wasn't a runner, but he had really good feel running the bases. I mean, he could steal third base because he's good. I let him do it. He showed me he could do it. He told me he could do it. And his junior year, that was the year of the horrible bats. They brought out these bats that were duds. He, because of safety, they went way the other way and kind of messed up the game, honestly, a little bit. But he hit 3-something with that bat and hit home runs, and he got stronger. Ryder is just a little more athletic. James was probably a little more accurate with his arm. Ryder's arm strength is probably a little better than James at this time, but the accuracy and the release of James was really good. So, it's flip a coin. Who do you take if you had to only take one right now? Don't ask me. I'd never tell you.
One more on 5 and 5 and just the draft. I mean, the sense I get from you is that it's going to make the college game better. But obviously, you guys just want to know what the rules are from year to year. Do you think that this will help? I don't know what the word is, level things out some where there's not so much uncertainty in future off seasons, assuming that this draft proposal goes through and high school players won't be eligible for the draft.
I think as far as level the playing field, I think it's going to make the mid majors even stronger, because they're going to probably end up taking some kids that are either going to get bumped out of where they're at. Programs can't run off their younger guys that are coming in because there's not enough room, because we thought you were going to sign, and those kids are going to end up at some mid majors. They're going to come in here on opening weekend and all that with a bunch of 22, 23-year-olds that are good. Yeah, I mean, kids having another bargaining power year. But I really think what's going to happen with that, I think that pro ball will do something about that. Like you're eligible to sign every year. So they could get your freshmen, sophomore, juniors, whatever. So that'll be interesting coming down, down the road. So yeah, we just need to know the rules so we know how to navigate through these rosters because they're putting these limits on us and it's already hard enough. And now we don't know anything until mid-July, and then we have a couple weeks to try to get it finalized, and then it's August, and we start school here like August 15th, 16th. So it's tough.
All right. Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. We'll see you later this summer.
Okay, guys, we'll see you later.